It's happened again. Another Slovene moment for Doctor Who. And just like the Slovene, it all started so well. I've had my eyes peeled for a juicy villain to dissect ever since the Toymaker reappeared for the anniversary special, but my god has it been a struggle. There's been some decent episodes, and some not so decent episodes, but none of them churned out a genuine standalone villain, until the Chuldur showed up. An alien race who have become so tired of their home world, they spend their lives travelling across the universe, cosplaying other species and tearing their lives apart simply for the thrill of it. They're so twisted and maniacal, they want to create the ultimate real life drama, starting with the massacre of a small town rich club, and ending with the waging of a human civil war against the entire planet. All for the love of the spectacle, the drama. I've always found the villains that create chaos simply for the sake of pleasure some of the scariest. So combining that with the power to absorb the appearance of a victim and leave them a dried out hollow corpse is up there with some of the most terrifying villains. And they're a bloody hell.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, okay, so this is the problem I have with the Chuldur, and it's almost exactly the same issue I had with the Slovene. They build these villains up to be ruthlessly powerful and pretty damn terrifying motivations, only to butcher them with goofy gimmicks that completely overshadow everything they've worked towards. Now don't get me wrong, not every villain in Doctor Who needs to be terrifying. For every weeping angel there's a Cassandra, for every midnight entity there's an adipose. But if you're going to create a juicy villain whose sole motivation is to cosplay humanity for the love of maniacal mass murder, then maybe don't butcher them with a goofy ass owl face and the personality of a spoilt 13-year-old girl who didn't get a small loan of $1 million for Christmas.
I want to be him. I want it.
I half expected Bird Person Hedwig to swoop in and complete the family tree after Moustache Owl showed up. They did exactly the same thing with Slovene, and I've still not forgiven them for that. My green blubbery ET deserved more, especially when built to be these creatures that rip the innards and bones of humans out and wear their skin as a disguise, hiding in plain sight, all in aid of reducing Earth to a pile of nuclear ash for spaceship fuel, only for all of that groundwork to be completely destroyed by the fart gimmick they forced into pretty much every other scene.
Oh, excuse me.
We're meeting upstairs. That's the spirit. Off you go.
Blimey.
It actually kind of baffles me how they managed to set themselves up with a home run and then catch the ball in their mouths and choke on it. Like, who do these gimmicky features actually appeal to? Maybe a younger audience, but imagine if they had the darker, more gritty aesthetic, like the Trickster or the Veil. How much more memorable the episode would be, and how much more potential the Chuldur would have for future appearances. I can't help but feel the exact same thing happened to the Slovene, and that's why we've not really seen them since. I actually quite liked the final send-off in Boomtown, and they even made the gas release less childish and more of an ominous sign something was wrong. The opening scene to that episode was actually quite good, for reminding us of the potential the Slovene had as a terrifying villain, but the damage of their gimmicky introduction was already done for me, and I fear the same is true for the Chuldur. Even if you're hellbent on giving them this goofy bird of prey aesthetic, at least have them use the same kind of instincts that, say, an actual bird of prey might have. But nope, their version of a hunt is flapping around after the Doctor for 2 seconds before giving up in the middle of an open courtyard next to literally the only place he could be hiding. And as for their childish personalities, I get that an impulsive or righteous persona on a villain can be effective. It can portray an air of always getting what they want because they're so powerful, but here it just comes across as sport and whiny, almost incompetently so for me, as though that was just another gimmick to add some weird comical effect I just wasn't seeing. It was more a tool to suck the atmosphere out of the episode than it was comedic relief for me. The only thing I think they actually nailed was the way the Chuldur claimed their victims, leaving these dried up hollow corpses in their wake every time they absorbed a form. I actually think they nailed the exact same concept with the Slovene, and the way they zipped themselves up inside of the skin of their victims. The way the Doctor described Blonde when she was begging for her life in Boomtown, that she was pleading from a dead woman's lips. It just goes to show how much of their designs they actually got right. That's why I'm definitely not saying they butchered every aspect of both villains, but I really do think with better execution both villains could have been staple antagonists for the Whoniverse. But who knows, maybe I'm just out of touch and Doctor Who was never meant to churn out terror after terror like Torchwood did, but OGs like the Weeping Angel and the Empty Child would beg to differ. For me, almost every classic Doctor Who memory has somewhere ingrained in it a great villain, from the Master all the way to the Vashon Narada. And the Chuldur and the Slovene are sadly just ones that got away. Let us know what you think, or if you disagree in the comments below. Until next time.
Classic.